To introduce you to our tool, we will show you an example walkthrough by predicting the IMDb rating and box office for the movie Man of Steel. At the beginning of our analysis, we present the user a dialog where he can choose the important actors for the movie. Those actors were chosen by our algorithm are ordered by their calculated importance and are displayed by their name and role. To support the user in his decision, we provide the opportunity to get additional information about actors. For example, we want additional information about Christopher Meloni. In the upcoming line chart, we can see all movies in which he has participated over the years and their respective IMDb rating. Red-green scale is additionally used to indicate the rating. After observation of his previous work, we decided that his appearance in this movie isn't an important factor for our prediction. We can repeat the step for every actor and so decide finally which actors to take in as main cast. The next step is to select movies which are closely related to the movie we want to predict. Our algorithm suggests us movies and also explains why he does so. We can now get additional details, for example about Robin Hood. We see in the movie description that it has a medieval setting and overall doesn't seem much related except for the budget and genre, so we skip it. Based on the selected main cast and related movies, our application retrieves and visualizes meaningful data about Man of Steel. The data is structured hierarchically and can be visualized in several ways. Our first approach is a tree. The root of our tree will later reveal our prediction for Man of Steel, but is currently hidden to prevent bias. It has 4 directly attached nodes which represent the crew, Twitter sentiment, genres and related movies. The color of a node represents if it has a bad or good score. Every node has an initial weight which defines its impact on the overall score. Additionally, we developed a tree map visualization which puts more emphasis on the weight of the nodes. The tree map shows all leaf nodes and the size of each rectangle represents the node's weight, so it's easy to recognize which parts of the tree have the most influence on the final prediction. We can, for example, easily see the big green rectangle in the top right corner, which represents the very good rating for director Zack Snyder. We now get back to the tree view and take a closer look at the crew. For this, we developed the cure occurrence map, which shows us which cast members already worked together in the past. The cure occurrence map is a symmetrical matrix. Each rectangle represents a pair of crew members. The color indicates how successful movies were in which both of them participated. The small lines in the rectangle represent a mini timeline to show in how much projects and when this collaboration happened. We take a closer look at the group around Christopher Nolan. In the upcoming line chart, movies where a lot of the selected people worked together are displayed bigger. We discover that they all worked on the Dark Knight trilogy and add them to the tree. We now take a look at the provided social media data. In our Pixel Twitter visualization, every tweet is represented by a small rectangle and grouped by days. The color depends on the sentiment of the tweet. We are able to sort all tweets by positive or negative sentiment, time or number of followers. We can now easily see that the number of positive tweets largely exceeds the negative ones. This impression is also backed up by the tag cloud, which shows us the most used adjectives in the tweets. After we've taken a closer look at the provided data, we now feel ready to set the weightings according to our gained knowledge. We, for example, set the weightings of director Zack Snyder to 3 and producer Christopher Nolan to 5 because both are really famous from their last movies. They have a very good reputation in the general public and many people will go to this movie just because of them. We also changed the weightings of the rated movies. We set the weight of Sucker Punch and 300 to 0.5 because even though they were produced by Zack Snyder, they had different style. We left Watchmen at a rating of 1 because although it has a similar superhero setting, it's much more serious and dark. On the other hand, Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises are also relatively new movies which share the same superhero setting and are more similar to the atmosphere of the upcoming Man of Steel movie. Because of this, we set their weight to 1.5. Even though Superman Returns was the last Superman movie adaptation, we decreased its rating to 0.6 because the style of the movie is very different. With those changes, we receive an end result of 8 as IMDb score prediction. We have a similar tree and tree map approach for the box office prediction where we take only related movies into account. The suggested related movies are more depending on their budget, genre and release date instead of their plot.